Hello everyone, this is take two, because my screen unrecorded itself, because my computer turned off and I went to turn it on and I accidentally clicked off. I'm kind of sad because I got halfway through it, so I need water. I'll get water after this. So this is take two. As you can probably tell from the title and maybe from the picture, this is a Mafia Kirishima ex-civilian listener, and obviously this is a Mafia AU. It's honestly really good, and I love this because I love Mafia AUs so much, and I'm honestly trying to find one for Bakugo as well. So if I do, yeah, I'll probably post it. If I can't find one, I'll probably make my own. So, yeah. I'm just fixing my closet while I'm in here. Oh my god. Watch this whole thing collapse on me in the middle of recording. That would be some sick video to post. Okay. So, yeah. Oh. First recording was so good, too. Okay, so, yeah. Sorry for posting so late. I was going to do it after I finished school, but then someone came over, so I hanged out with them and we watched a lot of Avatar. So, let's get into this. Okay. Reader's quirk, minefield. You can manipulate the ground to explode from the pressure of one step. I forgot the music again. Okay. Let's play the music. Reader's quirk, minefield. You can manipulate the ground to explode from the pressure of one stepping on it, as if they set off a landmine. Your parent or parents had always warned you to be home on time before the villains came out, or even worse, the villain gangs. Some gangs could be especially ruthless, like the gang known as Bomb. The leader himself has never been revealed, but it's often a threat their members use to get what they want. You've seen a few of the members before, like Kaminari Denki, the guy who flirts with the girls at bars and clubs despite allegedly being 16. He has an electrification quirk. You saw him fighting before, and it did not look fun for the people he used it against. Another member you knew of was Sarahanta, or the Smiling Killer. As people called him, he was generally seen smiling, with his suit sleeves rolled up to display his interesting morphed elbows that produced his quirk. He was oddly enough the supposed assassin of the gang, his Span title implying that he was always smiling, even when ending the lives of those who wronged the gang's leader. The last person you'd seen, even talked to, was Kirishima Ejiro. He had a hardening quirk and was the closest to the boss due to him being like a literal bodyguard. Your first interaction with him was a bit unfortunate. You were being attacked by another member, Sero, and he had come to desperately save you. Flashback. Sorry, I'm readjusting myself, so if you hear any background or white noise, it's probably that. Okay. Ugh, I hate work, you sighed to yourself as you walked home from the office you worked at. The walk home was through a somewhat busy city area. However, even with a few tired people walking around, no one saw you getting forcefully pulled into the small space between the two buildings. You stumbled to the ground from the harsh weight shift to your right. Why would I be sent... hold on. Why would I be sent to kill such a hot girl? Oh well, might as well just get my job done and go. A voice said. It sounded somewhat familiar. You looked up, your eyes finally able to see the guy above you. None of his features compared to the most noticeable of him. His weird elbows. He had an odd smile too, but his elbows. Was that his quirk or something? Suddenly, I'm scared to turn it on now. We're still recording? We're good. Okay. Okay. Was that his quirk or something? Suddenly, tape came out of one of them. The tape wrapped around your arms and legs, and a little bit was put over your mouth. Hold on, why am I not fighting back? This weird elbow dude is gonna kill me, you thought. You hit your foot on the ground and moved back. Hey, where are you? Hey, where are you? He was cut off as he stepped on the spot that you hit. There was a small explosion causing him to get distracted. You tried breaking the tape around your legs, but it didn't seem to even rip. What's this stuff even made of? You thought, pulling at it more. Try to get away, huh? You know what you did to the boss made him real angry. He wouldn't shut up about you, he laughed at the end. He's laughing? He's pretty psychotic too, you thought, glaring up at him. I'm so tired from today. I'll make this quick for you. Then I can go home sooner, he said, pulling a gun out of his pocket. You closed your eyes tightly before hearing loud footsteps on the pavement and panting. You opened your eye to see someone had run into the alley. Harry, what are you... Haven't I... What? The elbow guy asked, clearly confused. We had the wrong guy. The other guy, Kiri, panted. You sure? They look like someone who would start shit. Elbow guy looked at you suspiciously. You glared at him for his statement. The redhead behind you shook his head. Someone else apparently. Same last name though. Are you close to the boss? Oh wait. Okay. The redhead behind him shook his head. Someone else apparently. Same last name though. Are you close to the boss or something? The redhead looked down at you. This is... I don't know who's saying the line, so I'm sorry. Guessing it's Kirishima. The redhead behind him shook his head. Someone else, apparently. Same last name, though. Are you close to the boss or something? The redhead looked down at you, only to notice there was tape over your mouth. He seemed a bit shocked for a second before walking over and ripping it off. It was rather harsh considering how sticky the tape was. How could tape from someone's elbows hurt this much? You thought. So do you? The other guy asked. You're from that gang Bomb, right? I've heard stories, but I don't even know who this boss you keep talking about is, he replied. Sarah, get that tape off them. There's no point in tying them up like a hostage, the redhead said. The elbow guy, who you just realized is Hantasero, gave you an awkward smile while walking over to you. He quickly pulled off the tape and discarded it somewhere by a trash can in the alley. He rubbed the back of his neck in a nervous and embarrassed way. Sorry about that. Need a hand? He asked, offering his hand out to you. You grabbed it and stood up, dusting the dirt off your pants. So, who's your boss? You asked. As much as you were annoyed with this mess, you were also curious to find out about the very secretive gang that certainly owed you something for this. Hey, we can't go telling that information, so Sarah got cut off by his fellow member. Bakugo Katsuki. Sound familiar? The redhead asked. It was surprising how quick he was to tell you confidential information. Katsuki? But he works the same shitty job I do. How could he find the time to be a gang leader? You felt complete shock and utter confusion at the time. You even wondered if this was some sick game before you went right back to being murdered. So that's how your name got mixed in. You're the person he was talking about offering another position to, Sarah spoke up. Another position? Your tone clearly suggested to the two villains that you were confused. He wants you to join the gang. Flashback ended. Oh, wait. Resin time. Hopefully you couldn't hear my neck crack. My bones, you could definitely hear that. My bones crack really easily. So, yeah, I'm so sorry for all of that. I have to crack them like every hour. You used to be scared about being too late at night, but now you were the one to be scared of. It didn't take much convincing from Bakugo for you to join. You hated your job. You didn't make a lot of money, and your lack of freedom was beginning to bore you. Here he offered you a better job, better pay, and a lot more freedom. Even though it meant becoming a villain, you joined. Kaminari Denki held the same description as before, but he was an information collector. He went to bars to listen what others had to say, flirting with girls while doing so, and he constantly insisted that the rumors of him being 16 weren't true, showing his ID countless times to prove that he was 19. Although he was still the youngest in the gang, there was another member you hadn't heard of before, Mina Ashido. She was a debt collector. Her asset crack normally scared people enough that they just handed the money over. She was pretty carefree, and the only other girl, or if you're a guy, the only girl in the gang. There you are, Ryan. I was looking everywhere for you, Kirishima said, swinging open the door to the roof. Hey, Kiri, come sit by me. We can see a few stars tonight, you said, laying on your back on the rooftop. Okay, he walked over and laid down next to you. Once you got to know all the members, they were really kind, not just to you, but to each other as well. Maybe a bit harsh to Bakugo. I'm so scared that someone can hear me. They probably can't, and they're just like, okay, she's crazy. Maybe a bit harsh to Bakugo, but he mostly deserved it. It wasn't a setting you expected out of such a dangerous gang. You'd grown the closest to Kirishima out of all of them. One of the reasons was because you were trying to pay back the favor of him practically saving your life. In almost any way you could. Another one of the reasons was because he was so energetic enough that just being around him would brighten your mood a bit. And honestly, you also gained feelings for him over the several months you'd gotten to learn more about each other. Wow, it's been forever since I've seen anything in the sky except the moon, Kirishima exclaimed. The few stars in the sky were pretty impressive for the two of you. After all, the base you two lived in was in a fairly urban area of Japan. This is really nice, she smiled, accidentally brushing her hand against his. Sorry, you stuttered, blushing a bit. It's fine, he smiled. He laced his fingers with yours and held your hand. Manly hand holding. Kiri? You asked, blushing even more. His hands were pretty warm, you thought. I've been wanting to tell you something for a bit now. Last name, Ellen. I love you. Ryan, Ellen, please be my girlfriend, he confessed. Your blush darkened as you tried not to look at his eyes. You failed in the end, seeing tears forming in the corners of his eyes made you gasp. Kirishima, why are you crying? You asked, sitting up along with him. If you don't feel the same way, you can tell me. It's fine, he said, wiping his eyes. Of course, I'll be your girlfriend. You don't have to cry, Kiri. Of course, I love you too, you said, getting a bit nervous at the end. You wrapped your arms around his neck, pulling him into a hug. You heard him sniffle a few times before strong arms wrapped around you. You squeaked when your body was suddenly lifted off the ground. Kirishima has stood up with no warning to you, but sometimes he'd do this to people when he hugged them. He'd then apologize afterwards, claiming that it was just a manly hug. Thank you, YN. He smiled, setting you back down. You smiled back and wiped the remaining tears on his face with your thumb. Yes, I knew you could do it, Kiri, Mina said. You two looked towards the doorway, only to notice the door was still open. Mina stood there, seeming really excited about what just happened. You didn't know how long she was there, and didn't want to know, including all the others too. Sarah and Kaminari were there, probably out of curiosity of whatever Mina was gushing over. Bakugo was there too. He just seemed pissed, so he was acting pretty normal. Congrats, you two, Sarah said. Man, Kirishima can get a girlfriend. Why can't I get one? Kaminari whined, walking off with disappointment. Oi, if you two ever do anything fun, do it on your own time in your own room, and I better not fucking hear it, Bakugo said before also walking off. His statement only caused you two to blush more out of embarrassment. Well, I guess I'll leave you two alone, Mia said, reaching over and closing the roof door. From the window in the door, she winked at Kirishima before giggling and disappearing back downstairs. I didn't realize I left the door open. Sorry, did I make you uncomfortable, YN? You apologized. It's fine. At least we don't have to find some way to tell them, you said, resting your head on his shoulder. He rested his on top of yours. I love you, he said, feeling giddy about saying those words. I love you too, Ejiro, you said, blushing at being able to say those words to him. From that day on, anytime Bakugo saw you two do something even slightly romantic, he'd leave the room. You found it a good way to get him to leave the area entirely. If you did certain things in front of him. So, that's the end. I'm such a fast reader. 17 minutes? This is... okay. I was expecting it to take like 20 minutes. So, thank you all for listening. I hope you guys liked this. I'm sorry for not posting Bakugo if most of you are looking forward to watching Bakugo. I'll post the Bakugo one tomorrow. I promise. Okay, I promise. But I need to get other people to like this too. Plus, Kirishima is a pretty cool character, and I love Mafia AUs with all my heart. And when I saw this, ow! I just stabbed myself. Whoops! And when I saw this, I just knew that I had to read it. So, thank you all for listening. If you stayed to the end, I want to test out this. So, I want to see if you stay to the end. So, if you stay to the end, read the description, okay? There's a reason. Because I want people to actually read the description. Yeah. So, anyway, hope you guys have a great day. For those of you in school, because I'm in school, good luck, because I'm already, like, failing. So, I'll get to it. Gotta make the fans happy. I got my priorities. So, have a great day, and I will see you guys next time. Adios.